Good evening and welcome to the 9 o'clock news, local edition on Rock 93.7. As we go a little country tonight, I have the Travis Rice Band in studio. Guys hanging out with me this evening. I have Ethan.
Hey, guys.
Travis.
Yep.
Jeremy.
What's up, guys?
And Jim.
What's up, y'all?
Why don't you tell each one of them what you play?
I'm Ethan. I play lead guitar for the band.
And backup vocals. Don't
Definitely
forget the backup vocals. I am Travis. I'm the kind of the front man. I do the lead vocals and a little bit of rhythm guitar and writing and such as that.
I'm Jeremy. I do drums and percussion when called for.
I'm Jim. I play bass for the band.
All right. So everybody has their roles that they do. And I think before we started the show, I was asking about whether or not you had a steel guitarist. And you said you had one briefly, but no. So when it comes to putting certain sounds like that in, do you pick up session musicians or how do you do that?
Yeah. That's a studio thing. Obviously, ever extra person you carry, it costs that much more money and it's, that much more production. And so in the studio, yeah, we have full, steel guitar, lap steel, mandolin, banjo, dobro, anything, we've used accordion, organ, B3, all that stuff. So, you get to encompass all that when you're in the studio with just mind-blowing musicians that come in and do it. And it's something, you would love to have live every time. It's just, you kind of got to stick with the basics and find that equilibrium of how many people can fit in the van versus, what instruments you want to bring.
Now, does that hold over when you do live stuff? How does that work when you're doing live performances?
Well, luckily we're
track it or
no. Luckily we're fortunate enough to have a very talented guitar player, and he kind of transposes most of the stuff. So if you hear it on the album and it's dobro, when you come to a live show, you'll hear the same solo. It might just be in a guitar instead of it sounds the same. And the same thing with steel. He might put a slide on or something, and it gives it the same basic idea and the same feel, and so everybody still knows what's going on. The ones that have the album and follow us, they know what's going on. They just and hopefully they're not picking us apart that much to start with. They're just kind of there to enjoy the show.
Yeah, not me picking at you.
Right.
I was just kind of curious because when you hear tracks like that, and then somebody says, "Oh yeah, well we've got it on there, but we don't have somebody in the band that does that," you just kind of go. At least I do, kind of wonder. Well, how does that play into when you're doing the differences?
And I'll try to fill in, a lot of different licks and different angles and stuff, and coming back, especially with him playing rhythm and me playing some other lead, you can fill it in pretty good.
A lot of the live shows as well, they're not always just original music. We play several covers as well, and that kind of puts the utility players out sometimes.
And when you start getting into steels and like duplicating your album in a live show, you're talking like Brad Paisley and Eric Church and all them who can afford utility players and can afford to carry that many musicians and have a lot more money than we have. So it makes it a lot more challenging when you're starting out.
And it's not that we're cheap. It's just that, it's realistic. And actually the guy that done the drum tracks on my first album, Rich Redmond, who I don't know if you're familiar, but he's the Jason Aldean drummer, tours with Jason Aldean. And we were fortunate enough to get him to come in and do some percussion for us. And I asked him about it. Because he does it, and I said, how do you do that? What level do you decide you're going to carry 14 guys and or whatever? And he said, don't bother with that. He said, Jason, I've been with him from the beginning, and he said we had a 4-piece band for 7 years. He said playing every city in the country. He said you don't need that when it's live. He said because when it's live, it's all about emotion and it's all about the performance. He said people don't care if you play it on a steel in the album and you play it on a guitar live. They said they don't care. And so I've kind of always just took that to heart when he told me that. And he said, together
pretty good as four.
So I think we got a good thing going, and people don't seem to miss it. We've not had anybody come up to us yet and say, hey, where's that accordion in the back of So I would love to have it just because it gives you more looks. But
let me ask you about, as we're discussing music here, Liv. Why don't you tell me a little bit about this song?
Well, Liv came to me actually after we had already started tracking the first album. We'd cut 3 songs, and I was back home getting more together, and I had a friend call me, and he was going through a really tough time, and he had, just some of those thoughts about his life that you hope to never hear your friends have. And it was one of those songs just came to me, and I'd had kind of the idea because just the way I am and my friends and most of us, we just kind of have the whole live your life to the fullest. You get one shot at it, might as well make it happen kind of mentality. So whenever he was dealing with that, I'd had the idea of a song like that, and it just kind of all came together.
All right, well, let's hear Live. This is the Travis Rice Band on the 9 o'clock news, local edition on Rock 93.7. I'm kind of curious how it gets to be the Travis Rice Band.
Well,
because you said, not take it away from you guys, but I'm just kind of curious because you said there was a lot of session work that went into it, actually, drums and stuff.
These guys didn't play on the album. I picked them because the album was actually we went in. The reason we recorded 3 songs and then took a break when I was talking about Live is that was my test run because it's about as cheap to record 3 as it is 1. Mm-hmm. So I was, I'd written songs, I'd played them live, and people seemed to like them, and I was kind of at that crossroads of, am I full of myself or is this really something that's pretty decent? And so I said, well, I'll take this and I'll go down to Nashville and I'll record it professionally, the best it's going to be, and then we'll see and I'll take it to the local radio station stuff, see what happens. And then I was like, if it goes, then we'll go back and finish the album. If not, I'll understand that, I'm in the wrong business and I'll move on. And we did that and got it going. And by February, I was back in the studio. And so after that, of course, I was ready to get out there and push it and hit the road and stuff, So I started looking I did an album release party in May, which actually none of these boys, I had all different musicians then because I had some friends and some guys that I knew, and I called in, and just through the process of country music and touring and shifting people and people getting involved in other stuff, then I guess you were the first one. Mm-hmm. Jeremy come on, and because my friend that was the drummer then, he tours for a living, not drumming, he's a sound guy. And so he had to go back on tour, and so Jeremy come in, and then bass player was a joke. And so then I had my best friend, Jamie, was playing. Well, actually, he wasn't playing with us at the time. He was he worked out here in Cookeville, and he worked with Jim. And he said, I know this guy I work with, classically trained bass player and all this. I said, and I needed a bass player, so he come in, and he was a hit. And then we went through about 7 guitar players, and we had a show coming up at the Palace Theater in Crossville just back in April. And Ethan come in about 2 weeks before that show.
Yeah, it was close.
And and he's been with us since.
Well, we've been through seriously 4. Ethan's our 4th,
at least. Yeah, guitar player.
So it's taken a while to get to where you have the right mix.
But I have to say, and I tell people, I don't tell them this, but I tell people this all the time that this group here, it feels right. I finally got the sound that we're looking for, the groove we're looking for, the atmosphere we're looking for on stage and off stage. I feel like we finally clicked. You know what I mean? We've had some good guitar players come through, and some guys that could really play, but it just didn't click with what we were doing. Their style was a little different or something. And Ethan, we had a lead guitar player the day he came to rehearsal. He come as a rhythm player.
I'm just going to play rhythm, nice, easy show.
And he come in and just was kind of playing around. And I said, I got an idea. Why don't y'all trade solos on this song? Just go back and forth. And the other guy, he was more of a rock bass. He was like I said, he was a great guitar player. He just
Ozzy.
He just didn't fit, So anyway, he gracefully bowed out, and it was great terms and everything. And then Ethan stepped in his place, and we downsized. Actually, at that point, I had a rhythm. Yeah, he was coming in to fill in a rhythm guitar player's place, and we had 5, and had as many as 6. And we had downsized to 5, and then we downsized to 4, and I'm perfectly happy. And like I said, we've got a good vibe. We can all fit in my truck, and and it just works good. So, because literally used to we had to take 2 vehicles.
I was gonna say, so if he gets a bigger truck, that's how you know the band's gonna increase. Is that what's
No, next step is tour bus.
We're not in the loop anyway.
So
we all handled.
Oh, wait a minute!
Outside.
You guys just totally heard what he said about they didn't cover their ears.
No. Well, but anyway, that's how we ended up where we're at.
I'll tell you what, we've got plenty more that we're going to talk about with the Travis Rice Band as we continue on with the local edition of the 9 o'clock news on Rock 93.7. That was a little thing called Life. Travis Rice Band on the 9 o'clock news, local edition on Rock 93.7. Appreciate you guys bringing in your guitars and stuff and just kind of hanging out with us. What is the little beatbox? What exactly was that?
It is the cajon, or AKA the Cajun.
It's cajon. It's never Cajun.
But how is it spelled, Jeremy?
Cajon.
How about that?
We don't speak American here. We speak English.
Pronounce those J's.
It is an acoustic drum set, more or less, to answer your question. It's,
Okay.
Without the cymbal sounds.
I got to admit, when we first started to carry it in, I thought, wow, they're bringing a humidifier with them. Well, okay.
You got to keep the guitars a string to keep them dry.
No, it's a cajon. Very fun little instrument. You sit on top of it, and it gives you your bass and your snare sound. It's better than adding, a snare and a ride cymbal. It just gives it it's a more mellow, warmer sound than bringing a full drum set. So they're
Very
nice
cool.
to have, especially for stuff like this.
And I appreciate that. We didn't really have room for a whole drum set, so thank you guys for bringing that in. We do appreciate that. Well, let's talk about online presence, where you guys can be found online. I believe before we came in, I heard that Jim is basically the guy that does all of the
Jim's our marketing
promotioning. Your marketing guy.
And Jim has stepped up a lot recently on the promotion and the marketing. Yeah, which he is. He's kind of wired that way, which works out great because I am not. And
Great at handing out cards. He's got that down pat.
Yeah.
That card hand, he's got it down.
He's just annoying enough to be successcul at it.
That's a good way to put it, though. I mean, persistence is what it
persistent.
takes.
I guess that's it. Not annoying, but persistent. But yeah, he's really stepped up on us. Which is, like I said, I'm more than happy to open that door to that. And but yeah, we've got 2 Facebook pages. I've got mine, which is of course just Travis Rice Music. And then you've got the Travis Rice Band, which that's the one that Jim runs, and he keeps.
Do you have an app?
I do not have an app. I need an app.
Jim?
We've had a couple of bands that have the
something I'll
app.
work
You can
on.
kind of keep up with the app and kind of do that. But still,
I guess it's like a new
website's a
Facebook.
pretty good
Bands
thing.
in Town.
So.
Bands in Town. We are on Bands in Town app.
I have Facebook apps, but not a phone. I guess you can get that on your phone too.
You can get Bands in Town on your
you can
phone.
get our show schedule on Bands in Town. But as far as like a app that's solely ours, no, we don't have. And you can find our shows, website, Facebook, Bands in Town, Reverb Nation, any of those.
I'll tell you what, we've got plenty more that we're going to talk about with the Travis Rice Band as we continue on with the local edition of the 9 o'clock news on Rock 93.7. Well, I'm curious. I'm hearing various backgrounds in this as you're talking about where you came from. And you said, well, we've had a little bit of rock. We've had a little bit of this. So I'm going to start over here. Ethan.
Yeah.
What is your major influences, your background?
Definitely like blues, southern rock. People like Johnny Winter, some Stevie Ray. Eric Johnson's coming into town. He's doing a Jimi Hendrix tribute tour in Nashville. I'm looking forward to going to that. But definitely the blues and southern rock and more rock. Allman Brothers. Can't leave them out. Definitely that side. That's where I'm from. But I love the country picking too. Chicken picking, some of the Telly stuff. Like they were talking Brent Mason, some Chet Atkins in there. Definitely where I'm at. It's where my roots was at anyway.
What about you, Travis?
Kind of all over the place. I confessed earlier that I am a bit of a closet fan of the softer rock stuff, but no, and you can cut that part. But no, biggest influence by far Garth Brooks. 90s country in general. I'm a huge 90s. I was, that was whenever I was being molded. Was whenever there in the mid 90s, and from the studio sound all the way to the live stuff, the 90s, it just blows my mind. But I've done everything. The Bob Seger, the John Fogerty, all that stuff. Grew up listening to. My dad never listened to country. He always listened to classic rock growing up. Now he listens to country because sometimes I'm on there. But but yeah, so I grew up around that.
Not bad, not bad. What about you, Jeremy?
Honestly, and this comes as a shock to a lot of people, I'm actually a big metalhead. Like not like Aussie metal, but newer metal and like punk, like A Day to Remember, August Burns Red. I know a lot of people don't know those names, but
No, A Day to Remember they'll know. We play that on rock. So.
That's awesome. I need to start listening more then. But yeah, so A Day to Remember is where I started drumming, and that's the music I like. But country music is very different. It's very fun to play because it changes. It changes all the time. It's never like I hardly ever play the same show, quote unquote, twice. So it's a lot more fun to play, a lot more dynamic. You can deviate more. It gives a lot more room for creativity. So
All right, Jim. They said something a while ago, classically trained.
Yeah.
So that sticks out when somebody says they're classically trained. Does that mean you play classical music or?
Well, we can use that term rather loosely. No, I have been playing for 16 years. Started when I was 9. I'm from Charlotte, so we had a music program in the school still for quite a while. And as far as I know, it's still there. And being in Charlotte, starting in 5th grade, playing in an orchestra all the way through high school and all the way into college. That's where I got all my, I guess, not really skill from, but I learned everything. I picked up on that, and I drive everything and pull everything from blues. And blues and Southern rock is really, in my opinion, and hopefully several others, that it's really the 70s and 80s, the golden age of music. You get that Zeppelin, Frampton, Clapton, things like that. I definitely like that.
So a pretty eclectic mix of people here, Travis. You were talking about how it melds together and it just seems to click. It seems like you have found a right mix of just everything coming together. So, well, we've been talking tonight with the Travis Rice Band, and Travis, thank you everybody for coming in. Jim, Jeremy, Ethan, you guys, it has been a pleasure. Loved a little performance earlier, and your Cajun
Cajon.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's it. You guys, they can look for you at your website. They can go check out and get information there. So be sure to go online, check out the website. It has dates too, as far as when you're
TravisRiceMusic.com. Anything you can think of, tour, merchandise. You can stream the whole album live, plus the EP on there as well.
Yeah. And and you can find our shows, website, Facebook, bands in town, Reverb Nation, any of those.
All right, well, look for them out there, and then at some point, we'll look for you back here. Thanks for coming in, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Greg.